Am I the arsehole for telling my girlfriend that we are done if she doesn't want another kid in the future? Background, I'm 28 with no kids. My girlfriend is 26 and has an 8-year-old son from her previous relationship. She was with the guy since they were kids, but when she got pregnant, he dropped the ball. She had it pretty hard during the early years, and it was a huge struggle for her to balance work, school, and her son. She made it work and is now in law school. The kid's dad made a change about 3 years back when his own father died and has since been helping. We've been together for a year and 2 months and I really do love her. However, when we first got together, she did mention that she doesn't see herself having other kids because it was incredibly hard. She values her time alone when her kid is away, and she wants to travel with her son, being that he's bigger now. Also, that she has a school-aged kid and doesn't want to start over with an infant. We were too early for me to complain about it or try to change her mind. It wasn't brought up again for some time. Fast forward to last night. We were watching something and I mentioned that my co-worker has left work to have her 4th kid. She said that she couldn't imagine having that many kids. I got a little offended, being that my parents had 5. She told me that's what worked for my parents, but it wouldn't work for her. I asked why and she listed the reasons above, and that 4 kids is just excessive. I tried to reason it down to 3 or even 2. She said she doesn't want any children but her son. The way I see it, the only reason it was so hard was because of her age when she first had him. My logic is that any future children we produce will be secure and she won't be alone or have to struggle. For background, I have 4 siblings, while she has 1 sister who lives in another state. She doesn't understand how important siblings are. I told her if she's unwilling to have even 1 child for me in the future, then we are done. She agreed and said we are done then, and I'm incredibly hurt. This is a hill she's willing to die on. She's super smart but so hard-headed. No matter what I said all night, she wouldn't hear it or budge her views at all. I'm hurt because I made the empty threat and she very easily went through with it. I'm not feeling valued at all. I love this woman and the thought of us having an expiration date kills me. I want to marry her and have kids with her and she's just uninterested. She also said I was being an asshole and not taking her experiences into account when I totally am. I acknowledge how hard it was for her, which is why I think she would have a totally different experience if she tried again. She's not 18 anymore and will have me by her side. I want her back but don't know what to say. She seemed very certain when she agreed to the breakup. Please tell me, am I the arsehole? I, 21 male, have been looking for my sister, 18 female, since 2014. I found a way to contact her last night, but I'm not sure how to do it. My parents got divorced in August of 2014. It was a messy fucking divorce, one of the worst I've ever known, and I know quite a few of my friends' parents. My mother took half of my dad's savings, half of his pension. He had just retired after 11 years in the army, plus 25 years in the police. She was cheating medical benefits during this time. Half of the house, the mortgage on which she never contributed to, and even tried to get half of the compensation my dad was awarded after being hit by a car. ICU, medically induced in coma, plus in various hospitals and rehab centers from November 2015 to January 2016. Yes, the divorce took almost 2 years. Long story short, she bankrupted my dad. We were on the verge of homelessness for a while. He spiraled into depression, which dragged me into depression. Things were fucking bad for us. She also tried to use me and my sister as a weapon against him. She moved to Surrey, a place near London, 200 miles from where we were living at the time, to be with the man she was cheating on my dad with. My sister, 14 at the time, went with her. My mum tried to make me come too. I wasn't no contact at this point, but I had just started a software development apprenticeship at the time, so I stayed with my father. Things were okay. I even went down to Surrey to see them. It was when I was down there that I overheard my stepfather chatting shite about my dad, a man he had never met, calling him worthless, good for nothing, not a real man, was thrown in there a couple of times. She was laughing along all the way. Obviously I was upset. When I got back home I texted her to let her know that I knew what he had been saying. This led to a barrage from her side, telling me never to talk or attempt to contact her, my stepfather, or that this is the only thing that killed me, my sister. I happily obliged with the first two. I carried on talking to my sister through Facebook, saying things like, "I will never not love you, you'll always be my sister." She said similar things back and said she missed me. I went to message her one day and she had blocked me. I got a text from her saying that the way I spoke to mum and stepfather was disgusting and that they have been nothing but amazing to me and her. When I first read it, I thought it was weird. When my dad got the exact same text word for word, despite not saying anything to either of them, I knew it was my mother pretending to be my sister. I texted her back something along the lines of, "Your bullshit has always been easy to see through," with mum's name. I didn't get any message back. Now's not the time to go into it, but after many a drunken conversation with my dad, I found out my mum was emotionally abusive and a total narcissist. When she found out, I tried to end myself. She mentioned in a letter to another family member that I should have tried harder. I never wanted anything to do with her again. The issue at hand. As mentioned above, my father was bankrupted. He had no money left to fight for custody of my sister. I know he'd do anything to see her again. Going through courts is no longer an option. We don't know where they live, we don't have the money, fuck, we don't even know if any of them are still alive. Until yesterday, my girlfriend and I were scouring the web for any online presence of them, when she found a Facebook profile for my sister that was created around 2 weeks ago. It only has one profile picture and the privacy settings are pretty much maximum. You can only message it. She sent me a link to it and I'm blocked. However, given what happened with the text message a few years back, I'm inclined to believe that's in part due to my mother. Maybe I'm being stupidly naive and my sister really doesn't want anything to do with me. So here's my dilemma. Not only has my sister been cut off from me, she's been cut off from her entire family. All her aunts, uncles and grandparents are not allowed to contact her, lest they corrupt her, mother's words, into seeing me and my dad. I can message my sister if I create a new Facebook account, even if it's just to let her know that whatever she's been fed about mine and my father's feelings about her are lies, and that we still love her. Even if it's just to let her know that her nan thinks about her every day, and she could die happy after just one phone call from her. The issue is, I don't want her mother intercepting the message and making things worse for her or us. I'm sure her account is heavily monitored. I might sound crazy to a lot of people, and I know there's two sides to every story, including this one. But I promise you, on my own life, living under my mother is like living under a dictatorship. Your thoughts aren't your own. It's horrible. She will start university in September, I assume. I'm thinking the best way to do this is to message the account around October time. The thing is, I don't know if I'm emotionally ready to be told to go fuck myself by her. My dad's therapist has said there's a very real possibility my sister grows to become like my mother. Part of me is ready to accept that fact disclosure. Part of me wants to believe that would never happen, and part of me thinks I should just leave it alone. I'm really at a loss for what to do. For 4 years I've been looking for her. Now I finally found her. Or at least an online presence of hers. I really don't want to fuck anything up. What's the best way to go from here?
My wife is from Ohio, and I'm from Puerto Rico, and we met in a rift in time, I think. I'm not sure how else the universe could have got us in the same place at the same time. But anyway, we talk about our upbringings a lot, and one day she asked me, when did you learn the tooth fairy wasn't real? And I was like, I don't know a tooth fairy. And she's like, oh, you guys didn't have a tooth fairy in Puerto Rico? And I'm like, no, we had a thing that took teeth. Don't worry about that. But ours wasn't a fairy, he was a tooth mouse. Do you know him? And she's like, a tooth mouse? And I'm like, yeah, a magic Latin tooth mouse. And he, would crawl in under your pillow and take your teeth and leave you money behind, like his American fairy counterpart. And without missing a beat, she's just like, why would you believe that a mouse has that kind of power? Bitch, at least my thing is real. A mouse is a real creature. The closest thing you got to a real tooth fairy is Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. And she's like, why would a mouse need that kind of money? And I'm like, I don't know the mouse economy, okay? I would presume he's buying a comically large block of cheese, all right? Now leave me and my creepy ratatouille alone.
Oh no. To you
Bye guys, thank you for watching. I love you guys so much. Please like and subscribe to see more great videos. See you again.